carry. We sacrifice our own peace in the name of love, in the name of loyalty, in the name of compassion. And slowly, without even realizing it, we begin to lose pieces of ourselves along the way. It is not selfish to protect yourself, it is necessary. Because if your act of caring becomes the reason for your suffering, then it is no longer love. It becomes a wound that grows deeper with time. There are moments when you might feel that you have to be the savior, that you must always step in and take away the pain of someone you love. But think about it. What happens when your heart keeps breaking for the same people who do not even try to mend their own wounds? What happens when you spend sleepless nights worrying about someone who chooses not to change? You end up drained, exhausted, and empty. That emptiness makes you forget your own worth, your own purpose, and your own dreams. You cannot call that love, because love is not supposed to make you lose yourself. Love should make you stronger, not weaker. Care should make you more compassionate, not broken. When you give too much of yourself, people can start expecting it as if it is your duty. They might take it for granted, and you may begin to feel that your existence only matters when you are serving others. That is not the truth. You are more than a giver, more than a healer, more than a problem solver for others. You are a human being who also needs rest, peace, and healing. It is not wrong to help people, but it is dangerous when helping others makes you forget to help yourself. Think of it like pouring water from a jug. If you keep pouring into every empty glass, but never refill your jug, eventually there will be nothing left. And when you are completely empty, how will you continue to give? Sometimes the bravest act of caring is stepping back and allowing others to learn, to struggle, to grow on their own. You can still love them without carrying their pain. You can still support them without destroying your peace. Caring for someone does not mean you have to become their shield for every battle. It means you walk beside them, not inside their storm. And if they refuse to fight for themselves, you must understand that their journey is their responsibility, not yours. By holding on too tightly, you are not saving them. You are drowning yourself. Your heart is valuable, your soul is sacred, and your mind deserves rest. Do not lose yourself just to prove your love to others. The people who truly value you will never want to see you break in the process of saving them. They will want you to shine, to be whole, and to live with peace. Caring is a gift, but even a gift must come with balance. If you truly want to love others, start by caring for yourself first, because only when you are whole can your love and care become a blessing instead of a burden. You cannot set yourself on fire just to keep someone else warm, because the truth is, no matter how much light and heat you give away, if you burn yourself completely, there will be nothing left of you. Many times we confuse love with sacrifice, thinking that the more we give up for others, the more meaningful our love is. But love is not meant to destroy you. Caring for someone is not meant to break you apart piece by piece. You might feel that giving everything, even at the cost of your own peace, is an act of loyalty, but in reality it is a slow form of self-destruction. You start losing your joy, your calm, your sense of identity, and at the end you stand in ashes wondering why the very people you set yourself on fire for never learned to create their own warmth. There are people in your life who will gladly take all that you offer without ever asking if you're okay. They will let you carry their pain, let you fight their battles, let you stand as their shield, and yet never think about the scars you are collecting along the way. The more you burn yourself to keep them comfortable, colder you become inside. You begin to live in a state of exhaustion where your body is present but your soul feels drained. And when you are drained, you can no longer shine the way you were meant. You were created with purpose, with light, and with strength. That light is not meant to be wasted on people who do not even try to find their own flame. Sometimes love looks like helping from a distance. Sometimes it means letting others feel the cold so they can learn how to build their own fire. Because when you constantly shield them, you rob them of the opportunity to grow. They become dependent on your strength and never discover their own. By burning yourself to keep them alive, you are not saving them. You are simply delaying their chance to rise on their own. True care is not about weakening yourself so that others can feel strong. True care is about showing people how to find strength inside themselves. It is easy to believe that love is about endless sacrifice. But think of this: if you destroy your own light, how will you guide anyone? If you are completely consumed, what will remain of you to give to the people who genuinely need you? The fire inside you was given to you for a reason. It is supposed to keep you alive, to keep you inspired, to help you grow, and yes, to share with others, but not at the cost of your existence. Sharing your warmth does not mean giving away all of your fire. It means knowing when to give and when to protect what is sacred within you. Setting yourself on fire for others may feel noble in the moment, but long-term it only leads to emptiness and pain. You deserve to live a life where you are not constantly depleted. You deserve to love in a way that does not erase you. And you deserve to be surrounded by people who respect your warmth without asking you to destroy your flame. Because love in its truest form does not demand you to burn. It encourages you to shine. Boundaries are not selfish, they are acts of self-respect. Because without them, you allow others to decide how much of you they can take, and slowly you lose control over your own peace. Too often, people associate boundaries with rejection or coldness, but in reality, they are expressions of love. Love for yourself and even love for others. When you say no to something that hurts your well-being, you are not pushing people away, you are simply choosing to protect your inner space. And when you protect that space, you are able to show up in a healthier and more authentic way. Without boundaries, you may feel constantly drained, taken for granted, or even invisible because you keep giving more than you should. Boundaries are the lines that remind the world that you too are human, with needs, limits, and a life of your own. There is a misconception that being kind means saying yes to everyone, but true kindness is not about agreeing to everything. It is about showing up with sincerity and honesty. If you say yes when your heart is screaming no, that is not kindness. That is self-abandonment. And when you abandon yourself repeatedly, you start to lose trust in your own voice. Your dreams take a back seat, your peace gets sacrificed, and your worth begins to fade in your own eyes. Setting boundaries is not about shutting people out. It is about creating a balance where you can give without being emptied, love without losing yourself, and support others without sacrificing your own well-being. When you lack boundaries, people may begin to expect your presence at all times. They might assume you will always carry their burdens, fix their problems, or be available no matter what. And the more you allow this, the more they begin to see it as your role, rather than a choice you are making. Slowly, your life becomes centered around their needs, while yours are ignored. But when you put boundaries in place, you are reminding others that your time, energy, and peace also have value. You are teaching them how to treat you, and in doing so, you are setting a standard for how relationships should work. Healthy love respects boundaries, while unhealthy love resents them. It is important to remember that boundaries are not walls, they are doors. They allow good things to come in while keeping harmful things out. They create a safe space where you can flourish while still being connected to the world. When you say no to what drains you, you are actually saying yes to what truly matters. You are saying yes to your dreams, yes to your peace, and yes to the relationships that honor your worth. And the people who genuinely love you will understand your boundaries because they want to see you whole and not broken. Boundaries also teach responsibility. When you refuse to always carry someone else's load, you give them the chance to build their own strength. If you keep saying yes to every demand, you rob them of the opportunity to learn independence. But when you stand firm with kindness and clarity, you encourage them to grow. This is not cruelty. It is compassion in its highest form. Because compassion does not mean carrying everything for someone. It means believing that they are capable of carrying their share. Setting boundaries will not always be easy. You may feel guilt, you may fear losing people, and you may even face resistance from those who are used to your constant yes. But with time, you will realize that the relationships that truly matter will respect your limits, and the ones that fall away were never built on love, but on convenience. Boundaries allow you to remain whole, to love without resentment, and to live without constant exhaustion. They are the bridge between caring for others and caring for yourself, ensuring that both can coexist in balance. If you always rescue others, they may never learn to stand on their own, because every time you rush to save them from falling, you take away their chance to discover their own strength. It comes from a place of love, from a heart that cannot bear to see anyone struggle, but in reality, it often does more harm than good. Growth is born in difficulty, strength is found in struggle, and wisdom is gathered through mistakes. When you constantly shield people from life's lessons, you unintentionally stop them from becoming who they are meant to be. It is like holding a child who is learning to walk. If you never let go, the child will never take that first step. They may remain safe in your arms, but they will never know the joy of walking freely on their own feet. Many times, rescuing others gives you a sense of purpose. You feel needed, important, valuable, because someone relies on you. But dependence is not love, and saving someone repeatedly can lead to a cycle where they never even try to rise. They begin to expect your help instead of making their own effort. And when they expect it long enough, your presence stops being a blessing and becomes a burden. You give your time, your energy, your peace, and in return, you see no change, because the person never learned to take responsibility. They leaned on you so heavily that you forgot what it meant for them to stand. Standing on your own is never easy. It comes with pain, fear, and failure. But those failures shape a person into who they are destined to be. When you interrupt that process by always rescuing, you delay their growth. You may think you are protecting them, but you are really protecting them from lessons that were meant to make them stronger. Imagine a bird whose wings are always held by someone else. It will never fly, it will never explore the skies, because it never learned what its wings were made for. Sometimes, letting people fall is the greatest gift you can give, because it teaches them how to rise. It is not easy to step back when you love someone. Watching them struggle feels unbearable. Your heart screams to intervene, to remove every obstacle, to take away their pain. But in doing that, you may be robbing them of their story, their courage, and their transformation. Just as you once faced challenges that shaped you, they must also face theirs. If you always walk their path for them, they will never know how far they can go. Your help should guide them, not replace their journey. Your support should inspire them, not become their crutch. True love is not about constant rescue. It is about empowering someone to stand. It is about saying, I believe in you enough to let you try, even if you fail. It is about watching them stumble but cheering as they rise. It is about knowing that your role is not to live their life, but to remind them that they are strong enough to live it themselves. When you step back, you are not abandoning them. You are giving them the chance to discover the power within, and that discovery is far more valuable than any rescue you could ever provide. True love sometimes means letting people fight their own battles, Because as much as your heart wants to protect them, you cannot walk their journey for them. Every person is placed on this earth with their own challenges, their own storms, and their own lessons. When you step into someone's battlefield and try to carry their sword for them, you may win a temporary fight, but you take away their chance to grow through the struggle. Love is not about removing every obstacle from the path of those you care for. It is about standing nearby and reminding them that they have the strength to face it themselves. If you always fight for them, they may never discover the power that lives within their own. It is natural to want to step in when someone you love is hurting. It feels almost impossible to sit still when you see them breaking. You want to fix it, heal it, and make it go away. But sometimes the most powerful expression of love is not fixing the problem, but allowing them to feel the weight of it. Because in the weight, they learn resilience. In the darkness, they learn to search for light. And in the struggle, they uncover strength they didn't know existed. If you always shield them, they may survive, but they will not grow. And survival without growth is not living. It is just existing. When you let people fight their own battles, it does not mean you stop loving them. It means you love them enough to trust them with their own journey. It means you believe that they are capable, even when they doubt themselves. It means you are willing to see them fall, not because you enjoy their pain, but because you know the fall is part of their ride. Sometimes the most painful thing is to step back and watch from the sidelines. But real love requires patience and faith. It requires understanding that your role is not to be their savior, but to be their supporter. Think of the strongest people you know. They did not become strong because someone always fought for them. They became strong because they faced hardships and overcame them. They carried their pain, they wrestled with their doubts, and they walked through fire without someone taking the flames away. That is how strength is built. And that is how character is formed. When you step in to fight every battle for someone else, you are not saving them. You are holding them back from their own transformation. It is not easy to watch someone you love struggle, but you have to remember that their path is different from yours. Their lessons are not meant for you. They are meant for them. You can walk beside them, hold their hand, pray for them, and encourage them, but you cannot carry them through the storm. True love says, I am here with you, but I cannot fight this for you. It says, I believe in you enough to let you try. And that belief can sometimes give a person more strength than any rescue ever could. Because at the end of the day, the battles they fight on their own will be the victories that shape who they are meant to become. When you truly decide to live with purpose, distractions lose their grip on you. The things that once consumed your time and energy no longer seem appealing because you're anchored by something far greater. Every choice begins to align with the mission you carry inside, and your actions begin to reflect your deepest convictions. Purpose becomes the compass that guides you through storms, setbacks, and temptations. And even when life throws unexpected obstacles in your path, you continue to move forward because you know where you're going. Without this clarity of purpose, it's easy to drift, to let circumstances decide for you, to be swayed by opinions and temporary emotions. But once you discover why you are here, every day becomes an opportunity to advance in that calling. You begin to see that your struggles were shaping you for this moment, preparing you with the resilience, wisdom, and perspective needed to carry your purpose with strength. With purpose, even the most ordinary tasks carry meaning because they are steps toward a larger vision. You don't simply wake up, you rise with intention. You don't just work, you invest your energy into something that matters. You don't just endure pain, you extract lessons from it and use it to fuel growth. Living with purpose gives you a kind of focus that others can feel, a fire that cannot be extinguished by disappointment or delay. And when others see this fire in you, it inspires them to search for their own. Because purpose is contagious, and when you walk in it, you give permission for others to do the same. It doesn't mean the road will be easy, but it guarantees that it will be worth it. Your heart no longer settles for mediocrity, because you know you were designed for more. You measure progress, not by comparison but by alignment with what you were created to do. And as you walk deeper into your calling, doors begin to open, resources find their way to you, and people are drawn into your journey, not by accident but by divine design. Every season, whether joyful or painful, becomes a chapter in the unfolding story of your purpose. You realize that nothing is wasted, that every tear, every triumph, and every trial is working together to form the foundation of the impact you are meant to leave behind. When you live this way, regret loses its voice, because you're no longer just existing. You're building a legacy. Your life becomes bigger than yourself, reaching beyond the present moment, touching lives, and creating ripples that outlast your own time on earth. And it all begins with a decision to stop wandering and start living intentionally, to stop asking what if and start declaring this is why. Because in the end, the greatest tragedy is not death but a life lived without purpose, and the greatest victory is to discover yours and give it everything. You can only give light to others when your own soul is not empty, because you cannot pour from a cup that has already run dry. Many people think that selflessness means giving endlessly, never pausing to refill, never stopping to rest. They believe that constantly serving others is a sign of strength, but in truth, it is a path to exhaustion. When you keep giving without receiving, when you keep shining without recharging, eventually your light begins to fade. You may still show up, but you show up tired. You may still love, but you love with a weary heart. You may still care, but it comes at the cost of your own well-being. That is not true giving, because giving should flow from abundance, not from emptiness. Think about the sun. Every morning it rises, shining warmth and light across the earth. But the sun is not burning itself out just to provide light. It is fulfilling its natural rhythm, and in that rhythm, it never runs out. In the same way, your light must be nurtured if it is to last. You cannot keep dimming yourself for others, hoping that somehow it will still be enough. If you never take the time to feed your spirit, to protect your energy, and to rest your mind, you will end up living in a constant state of depletion. And when your soul is empty, even your love begins to feel heavy. When you are full inside, giving becomes joyful. When your heart is at peace, helping others feels natural instead of forced. When your soul is cared for, your light spreads effortlessly. But when you ignore yourself, every act of giving begins to feel like a burden. The truth is, the world does not just need your presence, it needs your presence in its strongest form. Your kindness matters most when it comes from a place of wholeness, not brokenness. Your wisdom matters most when it flows from clarity, not confusion. Your love matters most when it rises from a heart that feels alive, not drained. Taking care of yourself does not mean you love others less. It means you recognize that your ability to love is directly connected to the condition of your soul. Just like a lamp needs oil to keep burning, your spirit needs constant care to keep glowing. That care comes in many forms: rest, reflection, solitude, prayer, creativity, or even simply saying no when your heart feels tired. These are not luxuries, they are necessities. Without them, you cannot remain the light you were created to be. There is also a deeper truth. When you keep giving from emptiness, you begin to feel resentment. You may not admit it at first, but deep down, you feel unappreciated, unseen, and drained. That resentment grows silently, and it steals away the beauty of your generosity. But when you give from a full soul, you never feel that bitterness, because your giving is natural and joyful. This is why protecting your light is not selfish. It is the most generous thing you can do. It ensures that your love, your kindness, and your compassion are pure and sustainable. You are meant to shine, but your shine should not cost you your soul. You are meant to give, but your giving should not leave you empty. You are meant to love, but your love should not destroy you. When you feel yourself first, when you protect your inner light, everything you offer to the world becomes richer, brighter, and more meaningful. Only then can your presence truly inspire, uplift, and heal those around you. Your life, dreams, and peace matter just as much as anyone else's, because you were not created to exist only for the sake of others. You were given your own purpose, your own calling, and your own path to walk. Too often, people forget this truth and begin to live as if their value comes only from how much they can sacrifice for those around them. They pour into everyone else, they give endlessly, and they try to meet expectations that were never theirs to fulfill. Slowly, they become shadows of who they used to be, all because they place the happiness of others above their own. But the truth is, your existence is not less important than anyone else's. Your heart, your voice, your dreams, and your inner peace deserve to be honored with the same respect you so freely give to others. There comes a point in life when you must recognize that constantly choosing others over yourself is not love, it is neglect. It is neglect of your own soul, your own potential, and your own needs. You may believe that putting yourself last is an act of humility, but humility does not mean erasing yourself. It means recognizing your worth without arrogance and walking gently in your truth. When you deny your own importance, when you bury your dreams so that someone else's can bloom, you are denying the purpose that was planted in you for a reason. No one else can live your life for you, and no one else can fulfill the calling that belongs to you. If you continue to abandon yourself, the world will miss out on the gifts that only you can bring. Your peace is sacred. It is the space where your mind rests, where your soul breathes, and where your heart feels safe. When you trade away that peace to carry chaos that is not yours, you create a life filled with noise, but empty of calm. And when peace is gone, even your dreams lose their light. You may still have ambition, but without peace, ambition feels heavy, stressful, and overwhelming. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is necessary, because when your soul is at rest, you have the clarity and energy to walk toward your dreams without being crushed by the weight of distractions and demands that are not yours to bear. Your dreams matter not because they are big or small, but because they belong to you. They are pieces of your identity, whispers of your soul, and signs of the life you are meant to create. Too often, people set aside their dreams to live for others, promising themselves that one day they will return to them. But one day never comes, and life passes by in a blur of serving everyone else's needs. Your dreams deserve to be lived now, not in some distant future when everyone else is satisfied. You owe it to yourself to chase what sets your heart on fire, because in fulfilling your dreams, you also inspire others to believe in their own. Life is not just about existing for others. It is about creating a balance where your love for others and your love for yourself walk hand in hand. You can support people, you can care deeply, but you must never forget that your journey holds equal weight. Your voice deserves to be heard, your heart deserves to be cared for, and your peace deserves to be protected. When you honor your own life and give value to your dreams, you do not diminish the love you have for others, you strengthen it. Because only when you are whole and at peace can you truly share the best version of yourself with the world.